Greetings from sunny Stanford, California, where the final stretch of Pac-12 women's soccer is upon us. The 7th-ranked Stanford Cardinal looking to send their seniors off in style as they host the Colorado Buffaloes, who are desperate for a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Welcome inside of Kagan Stadium. Happy to have you along with us for today's Pac-12 Network broadcast. I'm Kylan Mills. Colorado looking to do something they have never done in beating Stanford here today. However, this group has a lot of confidence after battling the Card to a 2-2 tie in Boulder last season. For Stanford, Maya Doms and Sierra Angie got the Cardinal on the board early. They went up 2-0 in the first half. However, the Buffaloes had an answer in the second. A beautiful bicycle kick here ended up in the SportsCenter top 10 plays from Sinead Hopcroft, and then Jade Babcock-Chi got the equalizer later on in the match. Stanford transfer Savannah Kuhlman will look to get the Buffaloes going early in this one. She's second in the Pac-12 in points with 28. Kuhlman has such a high work rate off the ball. She is constantly putting pressure on opponents. According to her coach, she's willing to do the dirty work, and then Kuhlman also is an exceptional finisher. She has an incredible strength and precision on every single strike, which makes her one of the most dangerous attackers in the Pac-12. For Stanford, Abby Grubel, a familiar face for Kuhlman, will look to get her team going early. She just earned her second career brace in Thursday's win over Utah. Grubel, another player who just is an incredible finisher. She can strike from distance as well with so much strength and accuracy. Grubel's a player you'll see standing over a lot of set pieces for Stanford on the corner kicks as well. She's looking to go out in style in her last season here on the farm. A lot of fun to be had here at Kagan Stadium. Both teams getting in on Halloween practices yesterday. Kickoff and lineups coming up straight ahead here on Pac-12 Networks. Pac-12 Women's Soccer is brought to you by Clean Simple Eats, elevating life through food and fitness. And by Sprouts Farmers Market, the official grocer of the Pac-12. With that, welcome inside of Kagan Stadium for today's soccer match. We've got a good one coming up. The Stanford Cardinal hosting the Colorado Buffaloes in some women's soccer action down the stretch. And it's a special day here on the farm. It is senior day, meaning the last regular season home game for many of these upperclassmen. A really special moment before the match as we saw 6 seniors be honored and have their family members and parents come on the field to be recognized for their hard work and dedication here on the farm. Paige Rubenstein, one of the seniors being honored. Maya Doms, Madison Eisen, one of the seniors being honored as well. Katie Duong, Emily Chow, the young ladies you're seeing right here being recognized. And Kennedy Wesley, a really important member of this team. Head coach Paul Ratcliffe's side, a couple of changes in their starting lineup. You may notice freshman sensation Lumi Kosmeyer out of the starting lineup today. She also didn't start last game after starting a majority of Pac-12 play at the 9 position or that center striker position. In her place, Jasmine Ike, another freshman, got the start up top last game. Head coach Paul Ratcliffe said Ike's a player who's really impressed him and is just continuing to grow in confidence. She also has a laser for a foot. She's a lot of fun to watch, and she'll look to apply a lot of pressure on this Colorado back line. And for head coach Danny Sanchez, a look at his starting 11. A noticeable change here for Colorado. Bella Gruss starting in goal for her 3rd straight match. The sophomore earning that starting goalkeeper position after coming in off the bench in a couple of other games prior in the season. Sophomore out of San Diego has been impressing Coach Sanchez. He said he feels like she gives the team the best chance to win, and ultimately she beat out senior Danny Hansen for that starting spot today. Sanchez says the key for his team is to get some momentum early. He said a lot of times throughout the season, if they go down a goal or 2 goals, things can snowball. He wants his team to really jump on the Stanford side, get into the attack quickly, and try to get on the board early in order to really instill some confidence in this group. Colorado is amidst a really tough stretch of play here in Pac-12 action, facing 4 straight ranked opponents, this being the 4th and final match of that difficult stretch. They faced Cal on Thursday, losing 4-0 in Berkeley. And we are underway here at Kagan Stadium. Stanford on the right side of your screen in all white kits. Colorado in all black kits there on the left side. Kelly Pagador coming up the left flank here with the ball. Now, we mentioned in the open, Colorado looking to do something they've never done before in beating the Stanford Cardinal. The overall between these two teams is Stanford with a 12-0-1 edge. Last season's 2-2 draw was the first time Colorado had ever gotten a point against the Stanford side. And they did an excellent job of battling in that game. Coach Sanchez said he was really impressed with the grit his team showed in Boulder when they played Stanford last season, going down 2-0 at halftime, battling back, and just two really pretty finishes to get his team back in the game and to earn that first ever point against one of the biggest powerhouses in NCAA women's soccer. Paige Rubenstein delivers to Ike. Ike cuts left, just dispossessed. Ball out of bounds, sent out by Colorado as Stanford will get the throw in. Another factor, Stanford really hard to beat here at Kagan Stadium. They have yet to lose this season here on their home turf. Today's crowd sold out. A lot of fans and a lot of energy here inside of Kagan Stadium, which is one of the reasons why they are so difficult to beat, is because that fan energy. Head coach Paul Ratcliffe said it means a lot to these Stanford players to hear their fans, supporters, family, friends really get loud in the stands, and it's just a really tough environment for opposing teams to come into. Overall, Stanford owns a 98-5-8 record here at Kagan Stadium since the start of the 2014 season. Just a really impressive mark. Buffaloes trying to get some possession here as we approach the 3-minute mark at Kagan Stadium. Ball swung to the left flank, far side for Colorado. Rubenstein does well to get a touch on it. Well, Colorado is coming off a really tough loss on Thursday in Berkeley. Stanford putting together maybe their most complete performance, at least in the attack against Utah. Stanford earned a 5-0 victory here at home on Thursday. Graduate student Abby Grubel earning a hat trick, or earning a brace rather in that one. Williams, Sayer, Elise Evans also scoring in that game. Ball bouncing in the box, cleared away by Wesley. I started to say hat trick because freshman Jasmine Ike earned her first career hat trick in the previous game. That was a 3-0 win over Oregon State on Sunday in Corvallis 1 week ago today. Head coach Paul Ratcliffe said he was really impressed on Thursday with his team's ability to finish. That's something they struggled with on their road trip in Oregon. Stanford earned just a 1-0 win over Oregon on Thursday in Eugene. Lumi Kosmeyer getting a goal in the 6th minute. Here comes Ike. Ike in the right side of the box, slots one back, cleared away by Colorado. Ball swung out by Kuhlman to number 15, Lawson Willis, the junior out of Centennial, Colorado. Big ball sent forward, creating some problems for Stanford. Evans goes in to tackle hard. Ball still bouncing. Colorado able to possess, however, whistle is blown as Elise Evans is down just at the edge of Stanford's defensive third. She went in really hard to a 50-50 ball there just a moment ago. Evans sitting on the field right now. Evans, just a really impressive freshman here for the Stanford Cardinal. She scored her 3rd goal of the season on Thursday in that win against Utah. All 3 of her goals have come on corner kicks. Coach Ratcliffe said Evans just has a winning mentality and such a competitive spirit. When she does get the ability to get up in the attack on corner kicks and set pieces, she wants to finish it. She has just such a competitive spirit, he said. It's a certain mentality and an attacking mentality that she has when she's able to get into the attack, because it doesn't happen often from that center back position. Coach. That tackle Evans went into, it looks like potentially her foot got caught up as she went in on that 50-50 ball. Evans is up and walking, however, it looks like she will exit to the sidelines as the crowd here at Kagan Stadium gives her a round of applause as she walks off with the trainer. Evans has been such a critical piece at center back for the Stanford back line. That's been so impressive throughout the season. The Cardinal have not allowed a goal since allowing an own goal at the 40-minute mark against Washington State. That means 409 minutes the Cardinal have not given up a goal. Really an impressive stretch of play from this Stanford back line. Coach Ratcliffe said he really feels like they've come together with the communication, and also he's been really happy with their distribution out of the back. Ball out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for keeper Ryan Campbell on the Stanford side. Another reason for Stanford's success on defense is keeper Ryan Campbell. In her first season as truly the starting goalkeeper here on the farm, starting 17 of 17 matches she's played in. She has a .56 goals against average, which is good for second best in the Pac-12. That's also 18th in the country. She's made 38 saves on the season. Ike cuts middle. Ike trying to create in the attacking third. A layoff to Doms. Doms strike deflected out of bounds. That'll be a corner kick for Stanford, and the Cardinal have their first substitution of the match as Ivani Brandt makes her way onto the field following that injury to Elise Evans. Brandt, number 18, a sophomore from New York, does have a lot of experience here on the farm. She started 9 games this season. Ike's service low towards the near post. Dom's trying to collect. Grubel working. Grubel sends it back in. A flick from Leontini into the hands of Bella Grust. Ivani Brandt now playing in that center back role next to Kennedy Wesley as Elise Evans has exited the pitch after going in on a hard tackle. Brandt, a player who's started 9 games this season, while seeing action 14 times. She's a player that Coach Ratcliffe said he would love to play even more. It's just the Stanford side has so much depth and so much talent. However, he says on any given day, any player can compete for a starting role and be a big contributor, whether it be in the starting lineup or off the bench. Little miscue, mistouch by Doms. Colorado looking to possess and swing the ball wide. Williams with an easy touch back to Rubenstein. Rubenstein finds Williams again. Brandt getting her first touch of the match, and she is under pressure, does well to maintain composure. She's still working on that far side. Stanford does well to work it out. However, Angie just unable to collect. She is dispossessed, and Colorado now will look to go the other way. Brandt is a freshman, appeared in 19 matches on the back line. So again, a player who has a lot of experience. She also was named to the Pac-12 all-freshman team. And that's one thing about the Cardinal. Their depth is so key for this squad, because if one player goes down, they have so many other talented players ready to come in beyond the starting 11. That's something Paul Ratcliffe has talked to me about all season long. He said this might be the deepest group he's ever coached here on the farm. Stanford now with throw in right around midfield. For this Colorado side, a little bit of a frustrating season. As I spoke to Coach Sanchez, he says they have a lot of talent. They've just struggled to put it all together, and for some reason to just find the correct rhythm, find the correct chemistry to allow this group to get more wins. That he feels like they should have won more games this season based on the talent they have on this roster. Coach Russ said of the Cal game, flat out, his team just didn't play well. He says the Golden Bears played well and we didn't. Coach Sanchez said his team has struggled a little bit on the road, which is expected. However, he says they shouldn't have struggled that hard after giving up a goal early. He said he felt like they've just been leaking goals throughout the season, and it was the same story in Berkeley. Coach Sanchez says he's really been trying to ball bouncing across the box. Colorado, the Buffaloes trying to save it. However, it'll be called out of bounds for a goal kick for Ryan Campbell, who will play it back in quickly. However, the referee not having it. Coach Sanchez says he's still been tweaking his lineup even this late in the season, especially trying to find the right combination of players in his back line. One player who he's put all over the field and recently inserted into the back line to try to create some stability, is Kaylee Webb. She has played and started in 96 games for the Buffaloes. She's also a team captain for this year's squad. Coach Sanchez says Webb has played everywhere on the field for this team, and she just puts in so much effort, has incredible athleticism, and her ability to compete really sets her apart. Grubel now working the left side. Grubel's cross on the ground, intercepted. Kuhlman delivers a ball forward. A little push by Brandt, whistle blows. That'll be a Colorado free kick. That was Shira James approaching that ball, shielding Avani Brandt away as she tried to control it. Shira James, a junior out of La Mesa, California, a player with a lot of experience for the Buffaloes as well. She started 14 games while playing in all 18 prior to today's match, scoring 11 goals, also notching 1 assist on the season. Her 23 points is good for second on the team. She also put together a really impressive sophomore campaign, scoring 9 goals and getting 2 assists in that season. Whistle's blown. It looks like that'll be a foul called against Colorado. Stanford will get a free kick going the other way. James, for her efforts last season, was named the All Pac-12 third team and All Region third team. She also was named to the Pac-12 All Freshman team in her first campaign in Boulder, starting in 16 matches of the 17 she played in, scoring 5 goals and notching 1 assist. James from Southern California played for the San Diego Surf, a really dominant and well-known soccer club. It's where she played during her prep days. Williams now battling on the far side, does well to shield the ball out. That'll be a throw in for Stanford. James is a player Coach Sanchez says started out on fire this season. He feels like she's cooled off a little bit, but a part of the problem is that she's really struggling just to get the ball upfield in Colorado's attacking third. He says his team needs to do a better job of getting the ball at her feet. He says James is so dangerous when she does get the ball around the box. He also says James has had a few unlucky breaks. She's had a couple of goals called back, a couple of really close misses. He feels like she could have netted a couple more goals even this season. However, Coach Sanchez says a big focus for this team is getting James more touches in the attacking third, and again, just getting her the ball around the box so she can do what she does in creating and also striking from distance. Ball out of bounds. It'll be a Stanford goal kick. Ryan Campbell between the pipes will take this one. As we approach the 12-minute mark here at Kagan Stadium, the 7th-ranked Stanford Cardinal hosting the Colorado Buffaloes here on Senior Day. One thing head coach Paul Ratcliffe talked about for the Card is making sure that they stayed really focused despite all the celebrations and the extra emotion associated with Senior Day. He says he's really proud of his 6 seniors who were honored today. They've showed a lot of dedication to the Cardinal and put in so much effort through their years here on the farm. He wanted to make sure they're honored and recognized. However, that this group stays focused because he says they just can't overlook any opponent in Pac-12 play. Coach Ratcliffe also said he wants his team to treat every single game like a playoff game from here on out. Now, they just have 2 games left in the regular season, facing Cal next weekend on Friday. I tried to ask him about that. However, Coach Ratcliffe not ready to talk about the Cal game just yet. He said, we've got to take care of business here today on the farm before we look to Cal. However, he said the Golden Bears are just putting together a really impressive season. Grubel towards the end line, deflected away. That'll be a corner kick for Stanford. Kaylee Webb defending Grubel well there, able to get the deflection. However, bounces out for a corner. And freshman Jasmine Ike will stand over this one. Ike from just up the road in Palo Alto, California. Ike sends the cross in near post, immediately sent out of bounds by the Buffaloes. Lawson Willis just pinged that ball straight out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Stanford. Ike just needs to get a little bit more on these corner kicks. She's taken 2 now that were just too far to the near post, and Colorado was right there to clean those up and send them out of bounds. Grubel trying to find Angie, it looked like, at the top of the 18. Angie battling around the edge. Williams trying to run that ball down, cleared away by Colorado. Rubenstein will send it back to Brandt, who finds Leontini now with space. Good patience by Leontini as she cuts left to find Maya Doms. Maya Doms, a player who's so dangerous on the dribble and really, really good at taking defenders on one-on-one. Wesley collects to Pagador, who now tries to just thread the needle with that pass to Ike. Unfortunately, she got just a little bit too much on it. However, it was a good look by Pagador to try to exploit that space between those two defenders. Ike also a player who has good pace, good control, and again, a laser for a foot. Not a bad player to find in the attacking third on the run. Pagador does a good job of putting her head up and then looking to find that space down the left flank. Just a little bit too much on that pass. Not a bad idea, though. One thing head coach Paul Ratcliffe said has been a focus for his Stanford side is their decision making. He said he feels like it has improved. However, he wants his group to really try to recognize moments to slow down the pace and to build the attack out of the back, when to switch fields, and then when to look to get numbers forward quickly to send a ball through into space. Like this flick to Grubel, a pretty idea from Maya Doms. That will go out of bounds, and the Cardinal have earned another corner kick. Great vision and a great piece of skill by number 10, Maya Doms. She does such a good job of just flicking that ball one time with such precision to Grubel to put that defender in a tough position to make a play, and ultimately that leads to this corner kick for the Card. Grubel taking this one. Grubel sends one back of the 6. A good spot, however, a nice save by Colorado goalkeeper Bella Grust brings that one down. A better corner kick by Grubel as she looks to send it towards the back of the 6, which is the spot you want it to go in. Grubel delivers this ball really well with just the right amount of pace and accuracy. It almost looked like it could have curled towards that back post and in. However, Bella Grust reads it well and is able to make the save. Pagador looking for someone, ends up cutting it back and delivering to Maya Doms, who switches fields to Rubenstein. Williams on the attack. Williams collects. Rubenstein sends one in the box. Grust off her line, punches it away with a nice save. The Buffaloes trying to get out of pressure here in the opening third of this first half. Here comes Leontini. Leontini to Ike. Ike with space. A good idea, trying to flick one across the box to Grubel, who is just waiting right there at the edge of the 6 for the finish. Watch goalkeeper Bella Grust. She does such a good job of coming off her line and punching that ball away one time. You don't want to take any chances in trying to cut that one, or catch that one rather. She just swats it away, bats it down, out of pressure with a lot of force. Ball in the box by Grubel, just towards the near post. Pagador tries to take a strike, 2 hard tackles. Ball still bouncing at the edge of the 18. Grubel, Pagador rather, went up for another difficult challenge. This time the whistle is blown. And the Buffaloes will earn a free kick, and they will evade disaster here in the 18th minute after a couple of tough tackles and a scramble at the edge of the 18 after the corner kick by Stanford. Hannah Schartz in the back line, the 5th year for the Buffaloes, will stand over the free kick, and that's a great free kick. Really, really strong effort to go from the defensive third straight through to the attacking third on that set piece. Here comes Colorado. Babcock Chi sends one into the box. A swing and a miss. And Shira James is not happy that she did not get on the end of that ball. Another one sent back in, however, Pagador will clear away. Colorado unable to get that ball under control. Williams now streaking forward with speed. Well defended by the Buffs. Still battling around midfield. Jenny Beyer just battling with Paige Rubenstein right there. Ivani Brandt with a swing and a miss there on that far side for Stanford, able to just send that one out of bounds. This is a great piece of work, a nice cross played on the ground, back across the box, a really well-played ball. However, Shira James just misjudges it a little bit on the bounce. That can be difficult when it's bouncing to try to really connect strongly, and you can tell she was swinging for the fences. She wanted to really crack that ball hard. Unfortunately, just misses the connection. The Buffaloes now, and they're attacking third with a throw-in, and they are really packing in the box for what looks like a long throw, and it is bouncing around the edge of the 6. Stanford's Abby Grubel able to get there first and send that one out of pressure, at least momentarily, as the Buffaloes try to send it right back in. A push from behind. Ike's able to maintain possession. However, Kaylee Webb playing really physical there. That could have easily been a call. Williams now on the ball. Williams to Doms. Doms with some time, looking to create. Doms cuts it back, delivers to Leontini, tries to chip one into the box in the direction of Sierra Angie. It's cleared away by Phoenix Miranda on that back line for Colorado. Or rather, playing just in front of the back line. Leontini under pressure will send it all the way back to Ivani Brandt, who now delivers to Paige Rubenstein. Rubenstein finds Ike, who's able to connect on the first touch to Angie. Williams working the far side. Williams bouncing ball sent across the box, headed away by Webb. Cleared away now by Savannah Kuhlman. Big ball forward. James trying to run on and create. Kennedy Wesley does well to clear that one away. Kennedy Wesley, a player who has been so critical to Stanford in her 4 years here. She's a team captain, played in 75 games, starting 63 in her career here on the farm. She was an all Pac-12 third team selection as a junior last season. She started in 18 games of the 19 she played, helping anchoring a back line that limited opponents to 0.85 goals per game. She also started at center back in 13 matches as a sophomore. As a freshman, played in all 25 matches, starting at left back. She was also named to the all Pac-12 freshman team. Wesley is a player who is so durable and so tough. Stanford now almost with an opportunity. Sierra Angie is shut down in the box, and then we have a hard foul just around midfield. Speaking of Kennedy Wesley, she goes down hard, and like I just said, she is such a durable player. Wesley is incredibly brave. She goes into every 50-50 ball with so much force. She battles for balls out of the air, and she's really good at winning balls out of the air despite her size. Wesley, standing at just 5'5", plays so much bigger than her height. She also has impeccable timing on tackles when she does go in. She's a ball winner and just such a stable force for the Stanford defense. A lot of space for Pagador. Pagador gets into the attack from that left back position, ends up cutting it back. Leontini now looking to switch fields, but she'll send it back to Ivani Brandt. Brandt back to Pagador. Kelly Pagador, a player who Coach Ratcliffe said he feels like has made really big strides this season, and her confidence and her ability to work out of the back and to get involved in the attack, as we see her doing right here. Ike with space at the edge of the 18. Ike takes a chance. It's a beautiful shot and an even more beautiful save by Bella Gruss, diving to her left to keep that one out of the net. Jasmine Ike's a player you can't give any space because she has a laser for a foot. She can hit balls with so much accuracy and so much strength. That ball headed for that side netting if it weren't for an excellent read by goalkeeper Bella Grust. Grust did such a good job of diving and then timing that dive as well to just get a hand on it and knock that one out of the net. That could have easily been a goal for the Cardinal. Ike just was such a really, really impressive strike. Grubel sends one into the box, top of the 6. Grust taps it away, it looked like. Pagador now cuts back towards the left side. As she looks to get the cross off, it's deflected away by Phoenix Miranda, and that will go out of bounds for another corner kick for Stanford. That marks the 6th corner on the match for the Cardinal. They just need to capitalize on one of these set pieces. Stanford has been doing a good job of getting to the end line and then looking to swing balls back or to try to create that corner kick by getting off crosses that are just being deflected away. The next step now is to get a finish on one of these corner kicks. Grubel sends one in, this one near post, a pretty flick by Ike, just well defended, and that will be cleared away by the Buffaloes. Grubel now on the left side, cutting towards the end line. Grubel tries to send one back across. That one also deflected out of bounds, and that will be another corner kick for Stanford. Abby Grubel, the graduate student out of Santa Ana, California, another huge piece of the Stanford team as she's put together such an impressive career here on the farm. She started in 15 games leading up to today on the season, earning 4 goals and 2 assists, including that second career brace last game. Beautiful ball sent in by Grubel, headed away by the Buffs. Ball at the edge of the 18, Stanford unable to collect. Here comes Colorado. A well-timed slide tackle by Pagador. Some of the crowd not happy. We do have a whistle, and it looks like the official is indicating an offsides call rather than any type of foul, and it's a clean tackle. You see she makes contact with the ball. She comes in a little bit from the side. However, she won the ball cleanly, and that was a really well-timed slide tackle by Kelly Pagador from that left back position. Some folks here at Kagan Stadium not too happy with some of the physical play. We've seen some tough fouls here around midfield that the crowd has been getting loud and making their voices heard about, as we do have a sold-out crowd here at Kagan Stadium on today's senior day for the Card. Good first touch by Maya Doms to send that one back to Pagador. She sends one forward to Sierra Angie, who looks like just didn't quite read that ball. A bad giveaway for Colorado. Samantha Williams now on the attack. Williams strikes, it's deflected and into the hands of Bella Grust. This Colorado back line, a problem area as identified by head coach Danny Sanchez. That's a really dangerous giveaway. They have to do a better job of just keeping the ball or clearing it, one or the other. They cannot give the ball away at the edge of their defensive third. That opened them up there to a potential transition goal for Stanford. Luckily, that shot deflected, and Grust was able to collect. The Buffs now just outside of their attacking third with the free kick, both teams lining up at the edge of the 18. Set pieces have been a problem for Stanford previously in the season. They gave up a couple goals on set pieces. It's something that head coach Paul Ratcliffe says has been a focus for the Card to really work on in practice. Headed away by Maya Doms. Webb heads it back to teammate Hannah Cardenas. Ball sent back in, headed away by Wesley this time. A couple of close misses for Colorado, the Buffaloes. Hannah Schartz, it looked like, tried to just send a little flick forward to one of her teammates running on. It just goes out of bounds, and that's a goal kick for Stanford for Ryan Campbell. Ivani Brandt now working the ball out the back. Plays one to Leontini. Nice ball back by Ike, played back to Leontini. Leontini in the attack. She is smothered just at the edge of the attacking third, and Colorado will look to go the other way. Savannah Kuhlman on the ball. Kuhlman tackled really hard by Kelly Pagador. Stanford now in possession. Great move by Samantha Williams. She looks to send one across. It's deflected. Grust tries to save it from the corner kick. It looks like that will be called as a throw-in for Stanford. Grust did well to get off her line and prevent another corner kick from coming in. Ike on the ball. Rubenstein on the right flank. Rubenstein just loses the handles. It's out of bounds for a goal kick for Colorado.
Substitution for Colorado. On to the
And we have a couple of substitutions for both sides. Mallory Allen entering the game for Colorado, replacing Phoenix Miranda. Mallory Allen, the freshman out of Austin, Texas. A player who started 2 games, played in 15 matches coming into today. She's also been a part of the U18 U.S. Youth National Team player pool in her prep days. Campbell tries to clear a little bit too lofted on that clearance. However, Pagador is able to get ahead on it. Ball played forward, Ike running on with speed. A slide by Schartz. A good piece of defending by Colorado to shut down a potential breakaway for Jasmine Ike. Number 6, Hannah Cardenas, ultimately shuts her down. That first challenge, a tough one by Schartz. And then Cardenas does well to keep her feet moving and look for the right time to just poke that ball away. That's well defended by Hannah Cardenas, the 5th year from California. And another corner kick, the 8th on the match for Stanford, as Grubel will stand over this one once again. Grubel's arm is up. Cross played towards the near post, but it's a missed clearance by number 15, Lawson Willis for Colorado, and Stanford will go at it once again. As the first substitution will be made for the Card. Freshman Lumi Kosmeyer enters the match, replacing Sierra Engie. Kosmeyer, as I mentioned during lineups, previously been a starter during the majority of Pac-12 play. 10 goals on the season, just really putting together an impressive effort. That one sent towards the back post, almost curling in once again off the foot of Grubel. However, Bella Grust reading the ball well and making some really good saves here in this first half for the Buffaloes. Kosmeyer's 10 goals, 2 assists, good for 20 points, which does lead the team. She is 3rd in the Pac-12 in goals. However, Coach Ratcliffe been playing with his lineup a little bit. She didn't start last game either. Ike starting in that 9 spot, the center attacking striker. Kosmeyer running on, able to get the first touch, flicked forward. Grust off her line to collect that one. Kosmeyer, a player, though, who's made a big impact since arriving here on the farm. She's really strong on the ball and does well playing with her back to goal. She holds the ball and looks to flick off to teammates, or she's really good at making a quick turn and then striking with just a little bit of space. Kosmeyer also has a really strong shot from distance. A couple of goals we've seen from her this season from well outside the 18. Here comes James. Campbell dives to her left and saves that one. Colorado taking their first shot of the match on goal. Stanford now looking to go the other way on that right side. Kosmeyer on the ball. Nice ball forward to Ike. Ike with space. Ike cutting middle. Ike smothered in the box. Several Buffaloes around her. However, she goes down. We do hear a whistle. Ike at some point as she was approaching the box, 2-3 defenders on her, even 4 circling around her towards the end of that play. Here's Ike with 8, 6, and 21, all trying to shut her down there. It did look like there may have been a light push at the end, not enough to determine any type of penalty kick. A little bit surprised that the call went the other way for Colorado. Schartz sends this one forward with that massive free kick. Another really nice ball played up towards the attacking third. Here comes James. James on the dribble. James cutting down the left flank. James got in a tough battle there with Julia Leontini for Cardinal. Leontini did well ultimately to shut down that potential play. Leontini is a player who Coach Ratcliffe described as a rock in the midfield for Stanford, playing at the 6th position. She is a ball winner. She does such a good job of defending as well, as we just saw in that last play. Good 1v1 defender, a solid 1v1 defender. She covers a lot of ground in the center of the pitch and just does a lot of the dirty work for Stanford in the midfield. She also is a really good ball winner out of the air. You'll see her challenging a lot of 50-50 balls. Leontini with 3 goals and 3 assists on the season. She's a junior out of Danville, California, attended Monte Vista High School here in the East Bay. Colorado now with a throw-in not too far off that corner or off the end line. Throw really nicely placed towards the near post. Wesley heads away. Second ball, a swing and a miss by Webb. Ball chipped forward, easily saved by Ryan Campbell. Didn't have to do much to just catch that ball. Now Stanford looks to go the other way. Pagador sends a nice ball forward to Lumi Kosmeyer. Grust has to come well outside the 18 to get a touch to clear that one away. Grust hopping a little bit as she heads back towards net. We have another substitution for Stanford as Samantha Williams will retire in place of Catherine Paulson. She'll be in that right wing position. That was a great ball forward by Kelly Pagador. She did a good job of waiting and placing that ball so that Kosmeyer was able to run onto it towards net. Bella Grust just did a really good job of reading it and being really quick off her line to clear that one away. However, Stanford, you'll notice, has really been doing a good job of finding the moments where they can play balls forward quickly and take advantage of mismatches or take advantage of numerical advantages. Grubel now cutting middle, cuts back left. Grubel dispossessed on a hard tackle by Mallory Allen. Colorado trying to work it out of pressure. Grubel gets it back, finds Kosmeyer. Pretty ball played by Kosmeyer back to Grubel, just steps on it and flicks it backwards. That's the skill that Lumi Kosmeyer is so exceptional at. Her technical ability with the ball at her foot is so good. This is a really, really well-placed watch 33 Kosmeyer. That's an excellent piece of skill to just flick that ball backwards, knowing Grubel is running on. Kosmeyer has such incredible technical ability and then reads the game so well to recognize moments that she can lay one off quickly for teammates. Lumi Kosmeyer, a player who's taken no time to adjust to the collegiate game. She's just really blossomed here on the farm as the season has gone on. Leontini wins that 50-50 ball on the goal kick for Colorado. Kosmeyer gets another flick forward. Pagador heads that one out of bounds. Someone in the crowd here yelling no ball watching. Not a bad piece of advice for either team or any soccer player. Ball played back in by Colorado. They certainly have not had the majority of possession. Stanford has had more possession and more opportunities in their attacking third. However, Colorado has been able to create a couple of chances on the counterattack, and that might be a good place. Right in front of us, Abby Grubel and Savannah Kuhlman battling with each other. I saw a little smile from each and a little push as those two players spent several seasons together here on the farm. We'll learn a little bit more about Savannah Kuhlman later on in the match as well, with a really nice prepared piece we have for you here on Pac-12 Networks. However, Kuhlman, a redshirt senior out of Centennial, Colorado, opted to play one last collegiate season back in her home state in Colorado for the Buffaloes. Kuhlman put together a really impressive career here on the farm. Unfortunately, though, it was just marred by injuries. Kuhlman underwent 4 different surgeries during her career here at Stanford. Her first coming in 2019 when she tore her ACL and meniscus. And then just 6 months later, she tore her meniscus again. And then later on in her career, she had repairs done to both her left and right hip, what I would presume is labral repairs, a common injury, or an injury rather that's becoming more common amongst soccer players. You also hear about it amongst catchers and hockey players as they put a lot of pressure on their hips. However, Kuhlman continued to battle back with from every single injury. I'm told that she always kept a positive attitude and such a fighting spirit. Head coach Paul Ratcliffe said he's really proud of her and really happy to see her thriving in her final season of collegiate soccer, even though it's back in her home state and not here on the farm. Kuhlman also putting up career numbers in her redshirt senior season. In 17 games played, she has 11 goals, 6 assists. That's good for a team best 28 points, which is also second in the Pac-12. She's also tied for second in the Pac-12 in goals. And Kuhlman, by the way, graduated from Stanford in 2022. She was a 2-time NCAA champion here on the farm, winning the College Cup both in 2017 and 19. She also was an All-Pac-12 third-team selection, was named to the Pac-12 All-Freshman team, 3-time Pac-12 champion. Again, just so many accolades for Savannah Kuhlman in her time here at Stanford. Unfortunately, though, she just had to battle through so much adversity, dealing with 4 separate surgeries. Here come the Buffs, looking to make something happen here on the right flank. Ball well defended by Abby Grubel as Lawson Wilson looked to send one into the box. Abby Grubel, also a player who spent a lot of time here on the farm, so surely Grubel and Kuhlman have a close relationship. That's something Coach Ratcliffe said. He knows that Kuhlman is close with a lot of these young ladies here who play for the Stanford side. They still support each other and, of course, are happy to see each other doing well. Kuhlman now goes into a hard tackle with Leontini. That will be called for a goal kick for Stanford. Ryan Campbell grabbing a new ball to get this one back in play. That's a really well-timed tackle by Julia Leontini, and then she does well to just put her entire body in it, shutting down that cross, as Kuhlman was coming in with a lot of speed and a lot of momentum, which can make it really difficult to stop a player dead in their tracks. Pagador getting into the attack now with some space in front of her. She'll cut it back as she didn't see a clear passing lane. A good switch by Maya Doms, looking to change fields. Paulson swings it wide to Rubenstein, who tries to get a cross in. However, it's deflected away, and now Colorado able to get out in transition. They'll look to switch now. Babcock Chi finds Willis, who's working down the right flank for Colorado. Grubel comes back to defend. Grubel, a player who I mentioned has a really high work rate. Not only is she constantly pressuring in the attacking third, you'll also notice her coming back and really getting in on the defensive end of the field as well. That's something Coach Ratcliffe has talked about. He wants his team to defend all the way through the pitch. It doesn't just, it's not just a burden bestowed on the back line. He said he wants his team to defend, starting with his attackers, defending and applying pressure to the back line, getting back and getting involved in defense. And the midfielders also applying a lot of pressure as well. A couple more substitutions. Both teams have made some subs as they look to create something, and both teams look to put the first goal on the board here as we approach the 42nd minute mark. Number 17, Amy Sayer, now in the match for Stanford, playing at the 10 position, it looks like. Colorado, big throw forward by Schartz. Headed out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Stanford. Hannah Schartz out of Newbury Park, California. She's a UCLA transfer, by the way. Played 6 games at UCLA through 2 seasons there before making her way to Colorado, to Boulder. Schartz has been a staple in this lineup for the Colorado Buffaloes, starting 16 matches this season. Last season, she started 19 of 19 games played, notching 2 goals and 4 assists. Schartz is also a team captain, and she led the team in minutes last season while being named to the All-Pac-12 first team. Stanford trying to create. Ball to Grubel is intercepted and cleared away by Colorado. Leontini now going back down the middle. Leontini looking to chip one to Doms, headed away by Webb. Colorado now trying to possess. Here comes Babcock Chi, cuts middle. A couple of plays in tight spaces results in a turnover for Colorado, and here comes Pagador with speed. Another hard tackle. Pagador on Alyssa Duke, who's entered the match for Colorado. Alyssa Duke doing well to play really physical on Pagador there, as Pagador was getting forward with a lot of speed, and she had some space down that right flank. Duke did well to use her speed and force Pagador to try to make something happen, which ultimately led to a foul and a free kick for Colorado. Shart standing over this one with that strong foot of hers. We've seen it on display all match. Those free kicks are so crucial because she literally transfers the ball from the defensive third to the attacking third and can potentially really jumpstart the attack for Colorado. This time there's a whistle and Stanford gets a free kick now going the other way as they switch fields to Paige Rubenstein. Rubenstein, a senior who's also put together a strong career here during her time at Stanford. Kostmeyer on the ball now. Kostmeyer fires, deflected away by Webb. 1 minute remaining here in this first half. Paulson trying to make something happen. Paulson swings a great ball bouncing across the 6. No one's there for Stanford. Abby Grubel in the general area, but no one able to connect on a really well-played ball by Catherine Paulson. Grubel goes again. Grubel gets some space at the edge of the 18. Grubel fires, and it's in! Abby Grubel shoots, and she scores to put Stanford up 1-0 in the 45th minute. Abby Grubel notches her 5th goal on the season on a really excellent effort. She's a player who can strike with so much precision. This is excellent vision to see the left side open of that goal, to see the near side. She cuts it across her body, does a really good job of getting her hips around the ball to swing that ball into the left corner. That's a really nice finish by graduate student Abby Grubel for the Stanford side. Finishing something that head coach Paul Ratcliffe said he's worked on with his team in the last couple of weeks after he felt like they just were not executing in the attacking third in their set of games against Oregon. Stanford came out and did the exact opposite with a 5-0 win over Utah. And now today they finally are on the board just before halftime. The Cardinal taking a 1-0 lead over Colorado as the final seconds tick down here at Kagan Stadium. Stanford with a lead after the first half on their senior day as they will play it forward and the time expires here at half. Abby Grubel, the difference maker for Stanford, coming off her 2nd career brace on Thursday in that win against Utah, and she does it again for the Card, getting them on the board early, and we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes here. Pac-12 Women's Soccer is brought to you by Clean Simple Eats, elevating life through food and fitness. And by Sprouts Farmers Market, the official grocer of the Pac-12. Welcome back inside of Kagan Stadium. The second half just about to get underway as the Stanford Cardinal hold a 1-0 lead over Colorado. This Colorado side with a familiar face in Savannah Kuhlman. She spent 4 years playing at Stanford before transferring to Colorado in anticipation of returning to the farm for the first time. Savannah shared her memories of her friend and former teammate, Katie Meyer.
Getting to know Katie was a gift and an adventure with lots of laughs, lots of questions and concerns maybe. But it was so much fun. She provided some craziness that her freshman year when she came in. Playing with Katie was one of the biggest gifts that I've ever received. To me, Katie was one of my biggest competitors, honestly. I don't know if it was a forward goalkeeper thing, but Katie just allowed me to be my highest competitive self. And not everyone allows you to do that. Not everyone embraces that, and some people shy away from it, but Katie just let me be me, the most competitive version of myself. We'd always say we'd go to war for and with each other, and that's just the type of friendship we had, and the type of person she was. So, Katie, I would still go to war with and for you. And you're with me every day, and I love you and I miss you.
Welcome back here inside of Kagan Stadium. There's Savannah Kuhlman herself getting in a little bit of halftime dancing before the second 45 gets underway. Kuhlman talking about former Stanford goalkeeper in that last package, Katie Meyer, who unfortunately lost her life in spring of this year. I know Meyer has been a really big motivating factor for a lot of these ladies for Stanford, and Kuhlman as well, as we just heard. Some of the Stanford players have told me that they want to win this season for Katie. They play for Katie, and she has been at top of mind throughout the season. Second half action coming up here in just a couple of moments. Stanford holding the 1-0 edge after the first 45, thanks to a fantastic effort by Abby Grubel in her last season here on the farm, scoring her 5th goal on the season on just a really well picked out shot. She cut across the box and then just did such a good job getting her hips around the ball to finish it on the near post. Grubel will be starting in the second half here for Stanford as they look to put a couple more in the back of the net. However, Stanford, not quite as many shots as they usually get. Some credit has to go to this Colorado Buffaloes back line, which Coach Sanchez has said has struggled throughout the season. They've done well of getting a lot of deflections and really just sticking hard in tackles here through the first 45. The Cardinal boasts the 10th best scoring offense in the nation, second in the Pac-12 at 2.67 goals per match. However, they rank first nationally in shots on goal per game and also second nationally in shots per game. They're averaging 23.61 shots per game. And I mentioned that because 7 shots in the first half is well below average for the Stanford side, which goes to show that Colorado has really been trying to stick in and stop those final shots from going off in their defensive third. The Cardinal, though, holding a majority of possession through the first half. Colorado had a couple of opportunities early in the first. However, they didn't really possess as the half went on. They did get a couple of opportunities in transition where they were able to create a couple of dangerous runs. Nothing just really coming to fruition or coming to be a real clear goal-scoring opportunity outside of that really nice bouncing ball that was played across the box to Shira James, who just unfortunately missed. Ivani Brandt back in the match after Elise Evans went down early in this one in the first half. The freshman starting center back, a key piece to the Stanford side in their defensive third. Rubenstein working on the ball, doing well to collect. Brandt returns to the pitch to start at the center back role in the second half. Hagedorn now working the left flank. A really special match here on the farm because it is senior day. We showed you at the beginning of the match, 6 seniors being honored here for Stanford. Something that Paul Ratcliffe said adds a little bit of emotion to today's match. This team wants to really do well, wants to send their seniors off on a positive note and to really make a run in the College Cup, looking beyond the Pac-12 season. Speaking of Pac-12 action, Stanford 8-1 in the Pac-12, tied atop the ranks with UCLA, the other dominant force in the Pac-12 between Stanford and UCLA. Either one of those two schools has been the Pac-12 regular season champion since 2001. Now Arizona did tie with UCLA in 05, or in 04 rather. However, since 05, either Stanford or UCLA have won the Pac-12 championship outright. And either one of those schools has been involved in a championship since 2001, more than 20 years. UCLA and Stanford both with really strong reputations as powerhouses in women's college soccer. A win today would only further Stanford's campaign towards another regular season championship as they beat UCLA, top ranked, just a couple weeks ago here on the farm in a huge 1-0 victory. The first time in years Stanford had beat a top ranked opponent. UCLA has held that #1 spot for weeks, I believe 8 weeks now. They've been ranked first in the country. Stanford getting some notice though from the national rankings as well, coming in at 7th ranked today. They previously were 6th ranked in early September. That's according to the U.S. Soccer Coaches of America Top 25 poll. They're 8th per Top Drawer Soccer. Leontini now working in the center of the pitch. Leontini getting forward with speed. Finds Doms. Doms cuts right. Kostmeyer looks for the give and go with Doms. However, it's well read by Colorado and touched away. Physical battle just at the edge of the Buffs' defensive third. Kostmeyer goes down, but it will be a throw, or kick rather, not a throw. A kick for Colorado. fair amount of physical play through the first half, a couple of tough fouls. Pac-12 play, very competitive in women's soccer. Multiple teams have been ranked in the top 25. Right now, it's Cal, USC, UCLA, and Stanford. However, both Washington and Washington State have received top 25 rankings throughout the season. A really pretty flick by Jasmine Ike, a good idea. She looked to get past Hannah Cardenas in the Colorado back line. She just couldn't quite get to the other side of that flick. Colorado now possessing, well, showing a little bit of patience, and now getting into the attack is Cardenas. Finds Kuhlman. Kuhlman delivers to Rosen, skies one towards the back of the 6 at the edge of the 18. Nice first touch by Doms to find Grubel on the far side. Pagador now sends it back to Kennedy Wesley. Maya Doms we saw with a nice first touch there, another player who is honored here on Senior Day. Doms out of Davis, California, just up the road, as is fellow senior Paige Rubenstein, also a Davis native. Doms put together a really outstanding junior campaign with 11 goals and 3 assists on the season, a team best 25 points. She was named United Soccer Coaches All-America third team. She was named to the All-Region and All-Pac-12 first teams. She was also recognized in the Pac-12 her sophomore season. Williams looks for the far post, just goes wide. Samantha Williams, the junior out of Laguna Beach, is a player who has so much speed. Just a little hesitation is all she needs to get by defenders, and then when she picks out a spot, it's rare that she misses, that time just going a little bit wide. Williams has a special combination of both skill and speed. She is one of the paciest players on this Stanford team, but she does such a good job of keeping the ball under control. She's really difficult to defend 1v1. Williams with 6 goals and 4 assists on the season. She scored one of the 5 goals in Stanford's win against Utah on Thursday night here on the farm. Williams is second on the team in points. She also put together a strong sophomore campaign, and she also led the team in points as a freshman and was named to the Pac-12 All-Freshman team just a couple seasons ago. Williams, a graduate of J. Sarah High School down in Southern California. Pagador just loses the handles there on that far side. A little missed touch will lead to a Colorado throw-in. Colorado still very much in this match. However, an equalizer here early in the second half would be huge for this group's confidence. Here comes Kuhlman. Kuhlman cutting left, shut down by Rubenstein. Ike now looking to counter. A pretty switch, picks out Grubel. Grubel cuts middle. Grubel's shot, saved by Grust. Bella Grust once again coming up big for this Colorado Buffalo side. It doesn't necessarily show on the stat sheet, but she has been everywhere. That will be her 3rd save of the match. She's right there where she needs to be on that near post, just blocks it up to herself. Grust has done a good job of keeping this Colorado side in this game by once again being really quick, coming off her line. And while that was just her 3rd save on the match, she did have a couple of really key deflections off corner kicks and crosses being swung into the box. She also had a really nice play where she came out and was able to dispossess Lumi Kostmeyer as she was nearly getting a breakaway. Grust came well outside the 18 to clear that one away. Grust, a player that Coach Sanchez just talked really highly of when I spoke with him just a couple days ago. Grust involved in a pretty heated keeper battle, or a battle for that starting position, with senior goalkeeper Danny Hansen, who is a team captain and has started 13 games on the season, making 46 saves. However, Hansen has a 1.9 goals against average. Bella Grust making 33 saves and a lower goals against average. Sanchez says he just felt like she's giving the team the best chance to win right now. However, he also told me he wouldn't be surprised if we saw both. A strike from Ike, smothered by Bella Grust, speaking of the Colorado keeper. Grust really stepping up in her sophomore campaign. She played in just 4 games as a freshman, making 10 saves. Grust out of San Diego, California, a graduate of Torrey Pines High School. She also played for the San Diego Surf Soccer Club with Shira James and Jade Babcock-Chi. Stanford defends well. Rubenstein tries to find Kostmeyer, who gets into it with Hannah Schartz, slides to try to get a touch first. She's unsuccessful. Colorado collects. Doms now able to get her chest on that ball. Ike looks to go the other way. Switches fields to Pagador. Pagador once again getting in the attack with a lot of speed, and another pretty slotted ball. Doms in the left corner. Dom swings in a big cross and it flies over. Still in play though. Williams now able to collect on the right side. Williams on the dribble. Williams cuts right. Williams towards the end line, sends in a pretty cross, and it's just over. A really nice piece of skill work by Samantha Williams, a cut inside and then a nice cross towards the back of the 6. Maya Doms is there. The ball just sails over the net. Williams does a good job of threading the needle between those 2 defenders to deliver that ball towards the back of the 6. She also places it in a really good spot on the ground and in front of Doms, where Doms just has to run onto it. Unfortunately, a missed touch sends that ball over. Another really strong scoring opportunity for the Cardinal here as we approach the 56th minute. At Kagan Stadium, Stanford with a 1-0 lead over Colorado. The Buffs really need a win here today, and that's one thing Coach Sanchez talked with me about. Is the fun part about this match, he said, is that we still have something to play for. With a win, Colorado would still have a chance to potentially make an NCAA tournament appearance and earn an at-large bid based on their overall record of 8-6-4 heading into today's match. However, they really, really need a win here today, as there's just one more game left in the regular season after today's match. A couple of substitutions for Colorado, by the way. Mallory Allen makes her way into the game. Also, Amaya Gonzalez, the senior out of Bellflower, California, makes her way into the match. Gonzalez starting 13 games of 18 matches played heading into today. She has 2 assists on the season. Typically playing in a holding midfielder role or a defensive midfielder role, as we see her right there, get the ball and swing it wide. Colorado delivers forward, trying to find James. Kuhlman just gets a little touch on it, no one there. Brandt now in space, looking to find a teammate, continuing to dribble. Williams now on the right flank. Colorado has been doing a better job in the second half of just possessing the ball, and that's creating some more opportunities because they are swinging the ball to both flanks, using the width of the field and creating just more space in the center of the pitch, and then they are getting into the attack much quicker in the second half. Wesley now. Wesley with a great play. However, that looked like a foul by Shira James as Wesley hits the turf while playing that pass. Ball out of bounds. It'll be a Stanford throw-in. Paige Rubenstein there to pick that one up.
No timeouts, no huddles, just nonstop game action cut down into one fast and furious hour. Football in 60 is the ideal football fix for the busy Pac-12 fan. Catch Football in 60 anytime, on demand, only on Pac-12 Network.
And we have a substitution for Stanford as Sierra Engie returns to the match, replacing Lumi Kostmeyer, who's playing up top in that 9 role. Engie typically plays in the midfield at the 6 or potentially at the 10 in that attacking midfielder role, as she has at times. Engie collects on the throw. And that's one thing that Coach Ratcliffe told me, is that they have several talented players in the midfield for Stanford, and that gives him the chance to toy with his lineups a little bit, to look to create mismatches or find the right combination for any given opponent. You've got Julia Leontini, Maya Dom, Sierra Angie, Jasmine Ike, who can all play in that triangle in the center of the pitch, and they all can play it well. And he's also mixed it up now with putting Ike up top in that 9 role. He says it's a great commodity to have so many strong midfielders who can play anywhere in that triangle. And this Stanford back line, as they look to bring the ball out the back, has been really strong throughout the season, especially in Pac-12 play, allowing just 3 goals. They've earned shutouts in 6 of their 9 matches and held opponents to under 10 shots. Stanford's attack now looking to create something. Grubel on the ball. Grubel tries to flick one in to Jasmine Ike. Grubel still battling. That's that work rate that she has, constantly winning the ball back. Swings one in with her left foot. It's headed away by Mallory Allen. Ball flying towards the corner. The Buffs trying to save it. However, that will be a throw-in for Stanford. Stanford's defense really strong in Pac-12 play, really strong in overall play this season. Kelly Pagador collects as Stanford looks to build out the back, and building out the back, something that's also been a focus for his defense, according to Coach Ratcliffe. He said he feels like they've done a better job of making decisions and possessing the ball out of the back, looking when to get forward, when to break lines, and when to swing the ball laterally. Grubel now flicks one forward to Doms, running onto it. Schartz is there though, and off her line once again is Bella Gruss to collect. A nice idea to flick one forward to Maya Doms, running on goal in a 1v1 with Schartz. Schartz did really well of positioning her body in a spot that Doms wasn't able to easily get a touch on that ball. Schartz read that well and was able to just get her head on it to send it away. Here comes Colorado. Once again, the Buffs doing a better job of possessing here in the second half, of finding their teammates' feet. That's a nice one-touch pass back by Shira James, but here we have a bad miscue as Stanford goes the other way after a bad pass by Colorado. Brandt collects and finds Julia Leontini, who has plenty of space in the middle of the pitch. You can see Colorado getting a lot of numbers behind the ball. Just James really up there pressuring the Stanford back line. Kuhlman hanging a little bit back. Big ball played forward by Hannah Cardenas. Here comes Kuhlman. Kuhlman delivers wide to Beyer. Beyer sends it back. Abby Grubel trying to run this one down for Stanford. They win it back and try to clear away. However, Colorado maintains possession. Ball sent out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Buffs. Coach Sanchez saying the Buffs tweak their formation a little bit from week to week. He couldn't give me a hard answer of exactly what they would play in today's match. It looks like potentially a 3-2-3-2. That's something you mentioned to me. They turn to that formation at times. We do have a whistle, and speaking of Sanchez, having a conversation with the officials. Sanchez, in his 11th season for the Colorado Buffaloes, 27th overall as a head coach. He has a career record of 387, 135, and 53 as a head coach in women's college soccer. His CU record, 120, 75, and 30. That's good for a 600 win percentage. He also has led the Buffs to 6 NCAA tournament appearances. 2013, 2014, 2016, 17, 19, and 2020, which was delayed to spring of 2021. In all those seasons, Coach Sanchez led them to an NCAA tournament appearance. The Buffs looking to do the same in this season. A bit of an uphill battle as they trail 1-0 here in the second half to Stanford, and they need a win in this one to try to make an at-large case. Ball forward, Lane trying to run it down for Colorado. Played out by Pagador. She'll send this one up the line. Colorado trying to bounce back from that 4-0 loss to Cal. Coach Sanchez saying the way they respond today is really going to show the character of this group. They also had a really tough loss to UCLA just a few weeks ago, falling 6-0. However, his team came back and responded, tying USC, ranked 15th at the time, 1-1 just a week ago today. He said the way his team responded and came out that next game ready to battle against a top 25 opponent just goes to show the type of grit and determination this group has. They always find a way to bounce back, and he felt really confident going into today that this group could potentially get a win here on the farm, the first ever for this Colorado program against Stanford. Coach Sanchez also talked about how he's tried to keep this group locked in despite a tough stretch of 4 straight games against top 25 opponents. He said one thing that makes it easy is it's just really a good group. Beautiful ball slotted forward to Ike. Ike cuts right, Ike fires, blocked away. Williams now sends one back across the box with her left. Header flicked wide by Lawson Willis. Ball stays in bounds. Dobbs now fires, saved by Grust. Bella Grust once again in the right place at the right time with the steady hands between the pipes, catching that one as it was sent in by Maya Dobbs. 2 great opportunities for Stanford. That's a really well-played ball to Jasmine Ike from Samantha Williams. Number 2, Kaylee Webb, just did a good job of defending and being in the right spot at the right time, following Ike all the way through her run. And then here, Bella Grust comes up big for Colorado. Another play, another occurrence in this match where she's in the right place in the right time with strong hands. She's on that near post. She sees it coming. Dom's a little bit towards the outside of the box, making it a bit of a tough angle for her, and Grust was there on that near side. Nice 1-2 between Rubenstein and Williams. Rubenstein to Ike. Ike was space cutting left. Ike trying to slot one through between the defenders towards the corner. Grubel just didn't make the run. Also the ball a little bit too weighted as it'll go out of the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Colorado Buffaloes. And another substitution being made. Jade Babcock-Chi returns to the match. The senior midfielder out of Del Mar, California. Playing in the midfield, 3 assists on the season. She started and played in 19 games last season, notching 1 goal and 2 assists. In fact, Babcock-Chi recorded the game-tying goal against Stanford last season when these 2 teams met in Boulder, and when Colorado earned their first ever point against the Card. Babcock-Chi, can she repeat it and get her team squared up here on the farm? Ivani Brandt sends a big ball wide to Pagador, really well placed, right at Pagador's foot. She takes a big touch forward. It's well defended by Hannah Cardenas, who gets the slide tackle and sends that one out of bounds. And we have another substitution for Stanford. Catherine Paulson entering the match for Abby Grubel, who scored her 5th goal on the season in the 45th minute, putting Stanford up 1-0. Engie sends one back to Ike. Ike cuts right. Well defended. Samantha Williams goes down hard. There's a whistle. That'll be a Stanford free kick. Freshman Jasmine Ike, a player who's really strong on set pieces. She scored a couple throughout the season. She earned her first ever hat trick just 1 week ago against Oregon State. Ike is so precise and so strong on every single set piece. She's a player who can score from outside the 18 because of the accuracy on her strike, and then she has a laser for a foot. It can be really difficult for any type of goalkeeper to get there when she sends one and she picks out a spot in one of the corners. It looks like Ike will stand over this ball. Julia Leontini also lingering around the ball, looking to line up as if she was going to strike it with her left foot. Leontini steps over it. Ike strikes, a diving save by Bella Grust. The Colorado keeper comes up huge once again for the Buffaloes. Bella Grust just continuing to be a brick wall between the pipes for the Buffaloes. Another excellent save by the Colorado keeper. Something you saw in that last set piece is a little gamesmanship that Stanford likes to do on their set pieces. They've done it before. On the last time that Ike scored on a set piece against Washington State, they had Abby Grubel run over the ball first as if she was going to strike it with her left. That can cause a little bit of confusion for the wall and for the goalkeeper. They think that player is going to strike it with their left and potentially pick out the opposite corner. And then Ike runs in with her right and looks to pick out the near post. That can be difficult for a goalkeeper to read, and it can cause some confusion. However, Bella Grust on that last one, no confusion on where she was heading. She read that ball so well and then made a really nice save on the dive. Ike now finds Rubenstein. Back to Ike. Ike forward to Leontini, who tries to get a one-touch flick, but not to anyone. Colorado intercepts, but Maya Doms is there in the midfield to win it back. Stanford continues on the attack as we approach the 69th minute here at Kagan Stadium. Colorado now switching fields. They've got some space. Ball sent forward to Kuhlman. Kuhlman one touches it back. Babcock-Chi working. Gonzalez, the good piece of skill work, sends it back to Schartz, who loops one over down the far side. Paulson does really well to get back and intercept that ball. Really high work rate from Catherine Paulson on that far side. Paulson, a redshirt sophomore out of Los Altos, California, a graduate of St. Francis High School. Her twin Sarah also on the Stanford team. Angie trying to run this one down. Grust off her line, clears it away one time. Ike battling in the midfield, whistle's blown. That'll be a foul on Colorado. Stanford earns another free kick. Catherine Paulson with 2 goals and 1 assist on the season. Watch 14, Leontini step over the ball, fake that shot. That can throw off the goalkeeper. Ike then does a good job of picking out that near post. Bella Grust just does a better job of predicting where it's going to go, making the save, and then diving at just the right time. Colorado goalkeeper Bella Grust putting together a really nice performance here on the farm. This one a little bit farther out, a tougher strike on goal. Ike will stand over it by herself towards the center of the pitch, potentially looking to chip one in onto the head of a teammate. She sends it directly towards net. It bounces straight into the hands of Bella Grust, who makes the easy save. Ike, it looked like, didn't get a real strong strike on that ball. Hit it with the inside of her foot. She may have been looking to chip or try to bounce one in a little bit more across the post. She hit it just a little bit too much towards the near post, but potentially was looking to bounce one across towards a teammate as Stanford was lined up on that far side. Wesley now under pressure. Wesley almost intercepted by Lane on that far side for Colorado. Wesley now on the dribble. Sends it right back to Pagador. Pagador calling for someone to check to her. She'll send a big ball forward, trying to pick out Ike. Ike's able to get the first touch. The Buffaloes send it out, but it's deflected by Ike, and it'll be a throw-in for Colorado. Jenny Beyer and Phoenix Miranda re-entering the match for Colorado. Phoenix Miranda, a sophomore from Hawaii, who started 12 games and played in 18 heading into today's match with 2 assists on the season. She was named the team's newcomer of the year in her freshman campaign, playing in 16 matches, notching 1 assist, playing in the back line. Big ball forward, headed away by Colorado. Doms on the attack. Doms on the dribble, trying to create. Sends it wide to Pagador. Pagador gets into the attack. Paulson battling on the far side. It'll go out of bounds. That's called for a goal kick for Colorado. Paulson, a player who did not appear at all last season due to injury in her true sophomore season. Prior to that, played in 12 matches, scoring 1 goal and 1 assist as a freshman. She's a player who Coach Ratcliffe has been really happy with her development here on the farm. He feels like she's come a long way, made a lot of strides since her freshman season, and she's a player who's willing to put in the work. She has speed, she plays really physical, and she has a high work rate off the ball. You'll constantly see her on the move, and she also is active in getting back on defense, as we've seen in a couple plays here today. 2 goals on the season for Catherine Paulson. Can she make it 3 here against Colorado? Leontini doing well to possess. Wesley with the fake. A little miscommunication with Leontini. Intercepted in a dangerous spot. 2v2 for Kuhlman. Kuhlman serves it to Lane. Lane at the edge of the 18. Defended by Wesley. Sends one well wide and out of bounds. Stanford avoids the pressure and earns the goal kick. Decision making a focus for the Stanford team, and that's somewhere that's a position on the field where Kennedy Wesley has to be really careful about the decisions she's making, because there's no one behind her since she's playing in that center back position. If you do play a bad ball or a bad pass, there's no second defender behind you. It's just you. You then have to be one-on-one defending with an attacker who's just intercepted your ball. And in that position, it was a 2v2 with Kuhlman and Lane coming directly at Brandt and Wesley. When it comes to number of situations defensively, you always want to have one defender up on the attackers that are coming at you. Offensively, you want to look to exploit when you do have a 2v2 situation with the center backs, or you do get a number up in transition. Goal kick now for Colorado. Big ball forward by Schartz, gets it just about to midfield, headed away by Sierra Angie. Williams down the right side towards the end line, swings it across. Paulson's there, Paulson finishes! Catherine Paulson, the redshirt sophomore out of Los Altos, California, gets her 3rd goal on the season, putting Stanford up 2-0 in the 75th minute. It all started with Samantha Williams putting in the work on the right side. She's done an excellent job all day of getting to the end line and then slotting balls back across the box. This time she picks out Catherine Paulson, sends in a dangerous ball bouncing just in front of her at the edge of the 6. Paulson makes her run at the right time, times it really well, and then does well to battle to get that shot off, even though she has a defender right there on her. Some chanting from the sold-out crowd here at Kagan Stadium. Catherine Paulson putting Stanford up by 2 in the 75th minute, earning her 3rd goal on the season, which I had just been talking about. I may have accidentally spoken that into fruition. Stanford now in the driver's seat with a 2-goal lead. Doms trying to run that one down. Stanford with 17 shots on the match compared to Colorado's 5. The Card also doing an excellent job of winning corner kicks, earning corner kicks with 9 on the game. The Buffs have yet to earn a corner kick. Here comes Leontini with some space, drops it back to Doms. Doms, a senior captain, finds Rubenstein, another senior. The 2 players out of Davis connecting on the right side. Doms with loads of time as she looks to switch fields to Pagador. A little bit too big of a first touch by Pagador. It's collected by Paulson. Paulson tries to find Pagador again. A little bit too much on that ball, so it'll go out of bounds for Colorado. Kaylee Webb, the redshirt senior, returning to the match for the Buffaloes. Their Iron Woman, starting in 96 games leading into today. This did mark her 97th start. She set a new program record with her 92nd start earlier this season. Webb has started in every single match she's played for the Buffs. And she's a player who's played pretty much every position, according to Coach Sanchez. He said no matter where he puts her, she finds a way to be really efficient and to play really well. She adjusts well, she's just really versatile. couldn't say enough good things about Kaylee Webb and what she's meant to this Colorado program. Dom sails one forward, looking for Paulson. It'll go towards the corner as Angie tries to run it down. There's a whistle on the play. Offsides call. Colorado gets the kick.
A good effort, though.
Kaylee Webb is so impressive with her effort, athleticism, her ability to compete, her ability to play physical, be a ball winner. Those are some of the main traits that Coach Sanchez talked about when it comes to her on-the-field play. Stanford now working the ball around the back as James applies some pressure up top. Rubenstein trying to find Angie. She plays that ball into the back line, and now Colorado looks to go the other way. Unfortunately, they're dispossessed in the middle of the pitch. And that's where Stanford has really been winning a lot of possession, is in the middle of the park. Their midfield is doing such a good job of connecting. The three for the Cardinal are finding each other's feet. They're swinging balls wide. They're getting into the attack, and they're really controlling the pace of this game. Ike, a little missed touch, and it'll be Colorado going the other way. Here comes Byer in the counterattack. Kuhlman now touches it wide. Ball played down the line. Back to Byer. A nice piece of shielding work by center back Kennedy Wesley for the Stanford Cardinal. And we have a substitution for the Card. Amy Sayer makes her way onto the pitch, replacing Jasmine Ike. Sayer, a 5'9" junior out of Sydney, Australia. She started in 5 games on the season, playing in 16 before today's match, scoring 4 goals and adding in 2 assists for the Card, tied for 5th on the team in points, as we do have a whistle. Kennedy Wesley went down hard on that last ball. Wesley laying on the ball just at the edge of the 6. Ryan Campbell trying to help her up. Kennedy Wesley, the Iron Woman for the Stanford side. Wesley has played and started in every single game this season at the center back role. She's a team captain. Coach Ratcliffe said she actually in prior seasons requested to play outside back because she has so much speed. She enjoys getting into the attack. And Stanford outside backs do have a lot of room to get forward, and they can get into the attack when there is space and they look to create a numerical advantage. However, this season, Stanford had a void in that center back position, and Ratcliffe said Kennedy Wesley was ready to step up. She said, I can take on that extra role because there is a lot of responsibility at that center back position. You have to see the entire field and be communicating with everyone in front of you and the rest of the back line to make sure everyone's marking and especially keeps their defensive shape. Kennedy Wesley has taken on that leadership role, a team captain, and has done so well. Maya Doms with loads of space. And she dribbles about half the field before trying to find Abby Grubel. It will go out of bounds for a goal kick for Colorado. Wesley, once again, after going down from a hard challenge, is back up. Back up and moving. Emerson Lane now entering the match for the Buffaloes. Emerson Lane, a freshman out of Fort Collins, Colorado. She has 3 goals and 2 assists on the season, and she started in 5 of the last 6 games, really solidifying herself as a starter for this Colorado side. Or at least competing for that starting spot, even if she doesn't earn it every single game. You certainly will see her on the field looking to make an impact. Emerson Lane, a player who Sanchez says has really grown up before his eyes. He felt like she did a really good job of dealing with USC's attack last Sunday. James tries to take one herself. It's deflected by Pagador, who now is on the run applying pressure. Abby Grubel wins a tough 50-50 ball, and she goes forward with speed. Grubel on the counter. Grubel to Paulson. Paulson cuts it back. Paulson just wide. Catherine Paulson from a really tough angle was looking to pick out that backside. Just sends that ball wide. However, that's a tough angle to take a shot. Substitution, Jaden Newkirk coming in for Colorado. That's a good piece of skill to keep that ball under control by Catherine Paulson. That's a tough angle to try to pick out that side netting. She just misses by a couple feet. Not a bad idea, but it's also a better idea potentially from that angle to slot a ball back across the box. She had two teammates who were in around the edge of the 6. Look to get an assist rather than take the shot there. However, Catherine Paulson, a player who's hungry for a goal, and that's what's led her to be so successful in this season, and she got on at the end of one just a couple moments ago to put Stanford up by 2. Goal kick now for the Card. Ryan Campbell on the ball. Campbell making 3 saves here on the match. Hasn't been tested too much here in the second half. A couple of times, however, Stanford, as the half has gone on, has done a better job of maintaining possession. They really dominated towards the end of the first half. Big ball played forward by Schartz, trying to pick out Webb. Webb now playing up, it looks like, in the midfield or potentially attack after previously playing in the back line. However, at this point, Sanchez surely looking to get some offense going as his team needs 2 goals to potentially equalize. However, they did it before, right around this time last season in Boulder. Colorado came back and was able to cut a 2-0 deficit to secure an equalizer, secure the tie rather, in Boulder. There's no saying they can't do it again. However, time is not on their side as we approach the 83rd minute of play here at Kagan Stadium. Stanford with a 2-goal lead. Doms finds Rubenstein. Ivani Brandt stepping into that center back role as Elise Evans went down after a hard challenge in the first half early on in this game. Brandt has stepped in nicely, has made some good decisions. Here comes Catherine Paulson with speed. Just a little bit too much on that last touch. It's able to be cleared away by Colorado. Colorado continuing to battle. That time it's Webb flying to the pitch as she tried to win that ball out of the air. A couple of hard collisions there at midfield. Kelly Pagador just catches Webb's side and catches her arm to send her to the ground. That's going to be a clear call. And a free kick now for Colorado as they look to get one here quickly. Just over 6 minutes remaining here at Kagan Stadium. Colorado in need of a couple of quick goals to try to salvage a point here and to try to maintain hope of earning an NCAA tournament appearance when the Pac-12 season is all done. Ball played into the box, sailed towards the middle of the 6, headed away by Leontini, bouncing towards the outside. Amy Sayer running this one down. Sayer cuts back middle. Sayer on the dribble. Delivers it back to Ivani Brandt. Brandt to Doms. Big ball forward by Rubenstein will just roll out of bounds. Schartz on the throw. Hannah Schartz, the team captain for the Buffaloes, with a big arm as well. Look at that throw. Really impressive as she's able to get that one inside the 18. Grubel sends it back to Rubenstein. Rubenstein back to Grubel. Grubel does well to earn the throw in for the Card. Coach Ratcliffe didn't want to look too far ahead. He wanted to focus on getting a win in today's match when I spoke with him. However, the Card do have another big match looming as they will head to Berkeley to face Cal in their next match of the season and their final match of the Pac-12 season. That game will be played in Berkeley this upcoming Friday, November 4th, kickoff at 4 p.m. Cal finally breaking the top 25 rankings, coming in at number 25 this week, according to the AP. Top 20, or the U.S. Soccer Coaches, rather, of America, top 25 poll. Cal been playing well as of late. That'll surely be a really tough match for the Card. Coach Ratcliffe said, let's get through this one, and then Monday we'll immediately turn towards that game against the Golden Bears. Stanford still neck and neck at the top of the Pac-12 standings with UCLA, so they do need to win out to secure a chance at the Pac-12 championship. Meanwhile, Colorado will close out the season hosting Utah and Boulder, also on Friday. This one coming up November 4th. Their kickoff time 3 p.m. Just under 4 minutes of play remaining here at Kagan Stadium. Brandt steps up, intercepts that ball, does well, finds Grubel. Grubel to Doms. Doms with space in the middle of the pitch. Doms with loads of space, and this is where there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect between the Colorado Buffaloes attackers, midfielders, and defenders. They just look disconnected at times, both defensively and offensively. Catherine Paulson cuts it back. Paulson working. Paulson finds Angie. Angie takes a chance. It'll sail high. Stanford just 3 minutes away from improving to 9-1 in Pac-12 play on the season. Looking to close out the regular season on a high note and also to send their seniors off on a positive note in their last regular season home game here on the farm. Or at least regular season home game as seniors. Coach Ratcliffe told me that 4 of the 6 seniors do plan on coming back and returning to the farm next season, using that extra year of COVID eligibility that players were granted in light of the 2020 season being cut short and delayed to 2021. He didn't want to reveal who. He said he wants the players to have the freedom to make those announcements themselves in whatever way they see fit, at whatever time they see fit. However, he said just 2 of the 6 current seniors will actually be leaving the farm after this season. Coach Ratcliffe said it is a tradition here over the last several years that they want to keep their classes together, and the seniors want to be honored together rather than having a couple be honored next season. Here we have the hard foul. That's a clear push by Hannah Schartz. She put both arms up into the back of Amy Sayer. That's a no-brainer for the referee. Abby Grubel standing over the free kick for Stanford. Grubel sails one towards the back of the 6. Doms jumping up, tries to get the header towards goal. Another diving save by Bella Gruss. She sends that one over the end line. A really well-played ball by Abby Grubel. She puts it in just the right place towards the back of the 6, where you've got several Stanford players in the mix, and then Maya Doms just rises above, uses her athleticism to get on the end of that ball and jump over several players who are around her. Maya Doms, really a strong player out of the air. Does well with her timing as well as physicality. Short corner in this time for Stanford. Rubenstein, a little one-touch back to Grubel. Grubel tries to bounce one in. That's a nice ball across the box. Doms tries to collect. Wesley sends it back out wide, bouncing towards Grubel, not to her. Colorado able to connect. Here comes Babcock Chi. Initially on the dribble, big ball forward. Kuhlman heads it back. That's a great turn by Shira James. A good cut and a smart decision to switch fields there. And here comes Babcock Chi again, working out of the midfield. A one-touch flick, unsuccessful by Ali Palangi. Big ball forward by Sierra Angie will fly out of bounds. That'll be a throw in for Colorado as they are showing a little bit of urgency. Schartz grabbing that ball, calling to get the throw back in quickly. However, down 2-0 with just seconds remaining. Not looking good for Colorado to try to put 2 on the board in just the closing seconds. Stanford did a good job of possessing throughout this game, not creating quite as many shots as usual. As I mentioned, Stanford averaging more than 23 shots per game. They are 19 here today. However, this Colorado side really crowded in the box and fought really hard in their defensive third. You have to feel for them for some of those defensive struggles they've dealt with this season, because you can see the effort level is there. Final seconds tick down. Amy Sayer fires from distance. Bella Grust off her line, collects, and then just tosses that one to the ground as time expires here at Kagan Stadium. The Stanford Cardinal earning a 2-0 win over Colorado in their final regular season home game here at Kagan Stadium, honoring their seniors before kickoff. And as we approach the final seconds, Savannah Kuhlman, the former Cardinal, now in a Colorado uniform, hugging many of her teammates and recognizing the relationship they've had over the last several years. A couple of standouts from today's match. Bella Grust, 8 saves. While she did give up 2 goals, she was everywhere for this Colorado side, reading every single ball so well, and she really saved some close goal-scoring opportunities the Cards sent at her. Abby Grubel scoring her 5th goal on the season in the 45th minute to give Stanford the lead just before half, and just such a pretty finish she buried in that near post. And then Catherine Paulson coming in off the bench, making a difference, giving Stanford a little bit of cushion in that lead as she put one in the back of the net in the second half, scoring her 3rd goal of the season. Stanford now looking ahead, a really tough match coming up on Friday as they take on Cal in Berkeley. Both teams ranked top 25, and we know the Bay Area rivalry is strong between those two programs. Stanford improving to 9-1 in Pac-12 play in today's match, while the Colorado Buffaloes fall to 2-6-2 in today's match. They fall to 8-7-4 overall on the season. Stanford improving to 16-2-1 thanks to the efforts of Abby Grubel and Catherine Paulson, giving Stanford the 2-0 lead over Colorado in their last regular season home match of the season. Thanks so much for being with us here on the Pac-12 Networks for today's broadcast. I'm Kylan Mills on behalf of our entire crew. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you next time.